What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It is your main man, Juggernaut of Multi-Platinum Production Team.
Arkatech Beatz.
Welcome to the music production and beat making live stream. We're at day 132 in the bag. We're getting ready to get busy. It is approximately 10:49 Eastern Standard Time. I am getting on a little bit later, but listen. We're going to do what we do. If it's your first time here, make sure that you are like, comment, and hitting the subscription button along with the notifications so that you can see when we're going live. Make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're hitting. If you're on the other platforms, make sure you're tapping the screen. Make sure for the engagement. Make sure you guys are checking out ArkatechBeatz.com if you're looking for music production. Of course, if you're looking for drum kits and stuff like that, all of those things are available at ArkatechBeatz.com. For those who are asking questions about our equipment and gear list, that's also at ArkatechBeatz.com. For people who are looking to learn about the music business, you can check out our books, on the music publishing, music copyright, and of course, forming your own music LLCs and song registration. Right? So before we get started, man, I got some samples in my MPC. We're going to get this thing started tonight. For those who are looking for royalty-free samples, they're courtesy of splice.com. Make sure you're hitting the link in the description to get your subscription to that, so you can start making music immediately with Splice. We swear by it. That's what we use. So, just making sure people understand what it is. So let's get into this, man. I got a sample in here. Got some keyboard samples in here. We're going to do something a little bit easy tonight. Nothing too grimy tonight. We're at like a higher tempo. Boy Swagger, what up? Rick, what up? Kaz, what up? So do we do stream battle? Nah. We're not really on that type of time. What we're doing right here is we're just really doing our tutorials. And as we open up the portal, hopefully in the next few days, we'll be using those for for us to review music from other people, iron sharpening iron in that closed portal. We don't do any music reviews here for copyright reasons. And what we're doing, man, is we're just gonna layer some stuff here. I got some sounds in here. Jeremiah, what up? Rick, thanks for your gift, brother. Let's go. Let's get this bass line in there. Ready? What's going on with that? Why is it sounding like that? Going crazy right now. Two things down. Got this flute right here, you know. You hear that joint sound all summer day. Joint sound all summer day, sounding like some mimosas with the missus. Shout out to everybody that's in the live, man. It's Friday night, man. I'm tired as hell, man. Listen, whose kids is out of school next week? Oh, the horror. Vito, what up, man? Gotta balance at home and school life, right, bro? That's what it is. Vito, thanks for your super chat, bro. Isabel, thank you. So check this out. Now we're gonna add some drums to this. I chopped something up. Get our percussion in here, man. Hi-hats. Let's go. I can't do it that way. Hold on. I'm tripping. My time signature is off. Point of the stream, man, for people to learn, man. Listen, I'm telling you, man, when I finally get this portal open, it has been, it's been a pain. But when I finally get this portal open, and the amount of things that we're going to be opening up in terms of, just the music business, just everything, music production, I want to have sessions with the attorneys. I want to have sessions with other producers in it. I want to have sessions with, there's going to be so much. There's going to be so much going on. I just pray that the world is ready for what we're about to accomplish with this. So what we did is we did a 16 level. You know what I mean? Just to kind of get the hat to have different velocity. We're gonna add an open hat to this. Add a timbre in there real quick. Make sure y'all sharing the live. We have all of our music kind of laid out. One more hat, man, like a rod. Just add that rider real quick. Let's go. Let's get the snare down real quick. Kick drum in here. thing, then I'm gonna. If it doesn't feel good to me, I'll change it. I wanna stick with this particular drum pattern. Let me see if it feels the way I think it's gonna come out. If it comes out the way I think it'll come out, then I'll keep it. If it feels a little then we'll flip it. You know what I mean? This other part of the snare in. everybody that's in the live. Go. Yeah. Shout out to everybody in the live, man. Make sure you hit that like button. Tap the screen. Tap the screen. Tap the screen. We're gonna add this 808 in real quick. Get a little bit more low end on that kick drum. I kind of like the marching kind of band of the drums. You see, it's a sample. It's a loop chop, and sometimes when you chopping drums, if it's not feeling right, it's because the drums are not being truncated correctly. So just pay attention to how your starts and your ending are going. Keep tweaking your starts and your ending, just to make sure that it's landing where you want it to land. Sometimes you have to remove the air. Sometimes when you chop. When you turn the drums into when you chop a drum, or when you're chopping and you turn it into a new drum kit without the slices, you have to also, it'll automatically put it in mono. So what you sometimes want to do is you sometimes want to go into it, and you want to go to the parameters here and turn it from mono to poly, right? Because if you have it on mono, the drums will cut each other off. So sometimes if you have too many hi-hats going, it might cut out your snares and stuff like that. So the key here is to put it on the poly, and then the key is also to make sure that you're truncating your stuff properly so that they're landing and they're not too much air, after the kick or the snare, because that's what sometimes can make it feel like it's off timing. MK, what up? PM Dawn. Hear how that's going down? Hear how that's going down? What you mates, what up? Oh no, it's the wrong time signature again. See. Now we're gonna take it to 8 bars. So let's get everything. We're gonna take all of our samples and get them to trigger for 8 bars. Well, right now it's triggering for 4. Get my flute good here. Shout out to everybody that's in the live, man. Shout out to everybody that's tapping the screen, man, helping that engagement, man. Shout out to everybody that's active in the chat, man. Thanks to everybody for their gifts and super chats, man. I appreciate y'all. It's going down. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to change it. Yo, it's crazy. It's doing something special. You gotta love it though. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the live, man. Sample back in, go. Flute crazy. Guitar going crazy. That 90s hip hop, man. If you know, you know. That's that Grand Poobah flow, right? Shout out to New Rochelle, man. Rest in peace, Mac Miller, man. Lord Finesse type flow, man. DITC. Shout out Diamond D and them, man. Fat Joe. Bring the 808 back in, ready? People still use it 2000. It's right behind me. I don't use it anymore though. Bring the flutes back in. chat. I need a name for the beat. I need a name for the beat. Let's go. MK, you got what I said? Summer days, I like that. Sequence over real quick into the next sequence, and we're gonna just kind of create a little bit of I'm gonna call it verse 2. We're just gonna kind of create a little bit of a breakdown, 4-bar breakdown. Divide that in 2. I'm gonna take out the bass. Take out the 808. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. Folks that's on YT, man, make sure y'all hitting the like button, man. Helps the algorithm. Helps the discovery. It helps people define our community. Richie May stands for your gift, brother. Paradigm, what up? We're gonna try to beef up this kick drum a little bit. You know, sometimes I'm gonna try to EQ it, but if that don't work, we might have to change it. I just want it to sound a little bit more full. Like I kind of want it to thump a little bit more. You know. We're going to put a little bit of parametric EQ on it. We're going to go with a preset. I have to overload it now. headphones because I see it going into the red, so like we already know that's overload. That's gonna be digital noise. We know that already, but it sounds good on the stream. You know what I mean? But outside of the stream, you're gonna have to fix that. You're not gonna be able to let it ride with an overloader like that. That's like pure distortion. People gonna be like, "Yo, what the hell you doing with your music, bro? You're tripping. You got your joint going crazy." Let's try a different preset though. That's better. Samples are courtesy of Splice.com. Royalty-free samples. Make sure that you are getting your subscription, man. Links in the bio, man. All right, so in the verse, we're going to take out the vocal. Links in the bio. We call the beat what? We said Summer Days. That damn flute going. That flute is like that flute is going like she was a fairy. She was a fairy. I'm telling you. Extra percussion in here. I don't know if I want to use it, but I'll try it. We'll just bring it down into the mix. Let's see if it helps with the to keep the timing. not a player. I just crush a lot. Ashkin, what up? He said, "Well, Nas listened to One Love, right? You remember that? Like, that's just crazy, bro. And these are dope. This was the kind of beats that they was making. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Large Professor Pete Rock. Shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? Summer Days. What's your thoughts on they saying that there's only 4 songs that made the Spotify editorial playlist this year? 4 hip hop songs. They said before we had 56. This year we don't got none. What's your thought on it? Is hip hop done? Is it finished? Or is it because more and more artists are realizing the Spotify scam and they're starting to pull their music back from there, or they're not promoting it as much on Spotify? Or is it all because Spotify is doing the bot thing and the AI thing? What's your guys' thoughts? Richie, I seen that. Listen, I shout out to my man Vito Corleone in the building. You know, we work with an artist out of Harlem. His name is Spitter93. You know, he's kind of like, you know, part of that, like, you know, Harlem Dipset thing. You know, not really Dipset, but you know, like a derivative. And we had did a record with him, and this is a few years back, and he was vehement on not putting his music on streaming platforms. And at the time, me and Mike we didn't really, we got it, but we didn't get it, because from a producer standpoint, you know, the issue with us as producers, if you know, this is for the producers in the building, you know what I mean? It's also for the artists to giving them some game. But for the producers in the building, the producers, remember, we're working off of royalties, you know what I mean? Or we, you know, we may get in advance and then we're working off of the royalties on the back end. So, you know, accounting and being able to know how good a record is doing is paramount for us to be able to get an understanding of what the income is coming in, right? Because some of us use those metrics to borrow against our future income and all these type of things, and to kind of determine what our catalogs are worth. So when he was looking to do, you know, some music with us, we had some reservations, because we were like, bro, if you're not streaming, or if you're just going direct to consumer, you know, and he wasn't really going direct to consumer the way that we would normally do it, which is kind of like, you know, you got a website and they can, you know, buy the digital downloads. If he was doing it like, hey, you Cash App, and then, you know, he'll send you the music, and he was building a relationship with each of his fans, which I thought was genius in itself, right? So shout out to him. The only thing for us is that as producers, we couldn't really track what was being sold. So there was no way for us to know what we may have been owed or what we would do. So that kind of didn't create the right business model for us. Fast forward to now, when you look at Spotify, and then you look at the true robbery of it, meaning, okay, you can't get no money until your streams hit 1,000. You know how many artist streams don't hit 1,000 per song, but you're still gonna run ads on those songs. So it's like you've created a situation where it's like it's fueled by the independent artists, but the independent artists don't really benefit from it. So I think what happens, especially in the rap genre, you see a lot of guys just saying, you know what, we're not doing that at all. We're going direct to consumer. Buy our stuff off our website. They're pulling a La Russell. They're pulling a Russ. You know what I mean? Well, Russ is a little bit different. But, La Russell, he does things a little bit different in terms of direct to consumer. So, I don't know what's going to happen with hip-hop, man. You know what I'm saying? I do feel like I said, it's going to micro niche. I feel like, because we're going to force it to have subcategories. Because, the guys that are producing music now, they're not worried. I don't know if you guys are noticing it, but they're not really worried about the sales. They're not worried about it. They've created a business model outside of the sales through touring and merchandise and all different types of brand partnerships. They're not worried about quote unquote streams anymore. They found other ways to move their music and their merch and their other products. Yeah, it's a little crazy right now. John will be here forever, right? This is Summer Days. The one thing I hate about my birthday is it marks the end of summer, man. August Virgo, it's Virgo season, man. Richie, man, when you gonna get that thing fixed, man? Don't play with that heat, brother. Break the beat down. Yo, listen, that drum loop worked, man. It worked. I felt that it would work. I was a little bit, on the fence, but it worked overall. All right, so right, we got a hi-hat with alternate velocities, right? We're doing velocities. We did 16 levels where we have a high volume and a low volume. If you notice, my hi-hat is going from a higher volume to a lower volume. And it's just to kind of, mimic that of a drummer who might be hitting it a little bit harder, a little bit softer on different takes, you know what I mean? Of course, I got an open hat on there. You October or Paradigm, or you end of September? Right, we got Another hat in there again. That's September what, 22nd? Little shaker, right? That vocal's tight, right? That's like a, I don't know why that remind me of that Mr. Biggs. You know you gotta keep me jig, Mr. Biggs. That's funny. And they got that flute that reminds us of summer days. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many of y'all are Dead Prez fans. You know, we were when we were at Loud. You know, Dead Prez was part of the label, so we had we had the we had the honor of working with them. You know, that record is actually unreleased, but you know we were able to kind of do a little work with them. But they used to have this song that if you remember that video that they used to have, a video called "These Are the Times," and they used to have a record called "Summertime," and they used to have like these flutes, and that kind of reminded me of that. That slap bass going crazy. Yeah, Dead Prez very underrated, man. You know what it is that when people aren't ready for what you're building, you know, a lot of the stuff is, you know, a lot of the stuff is timing, man. Like, you know, it's not that the records are bad, it's just the timing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, can you, you know, are you coming out with a record where it doesn't have the competition, or you know what I'm saying? If certain records don't drop at certain times, they don't have the same impact. You know, it's just timing, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's divine timing, man. Right? And this is like a Getty up on the snare. I don't know if you noticed it. Right? I remember what I told you about the kick drum having a lot of air on it, right? This is one of those times where there's a lot of air on it. Now, I like it how it sounds, you know, but some people would probably look to EQ some of it out. You know what I mean? Definitely takes a machine behind you, man. Listen, if there's no machine behind you, man, nothing goes, man. 808. You know what I mean? So I could have done. one. All right. And listen, if you can get a record that defines a time or an event, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you can get a record that defines a time or an event, you know what I mean? Then you have a record that becomes timeless. It becomes like folklore, you know what I mean? If you got a Protect Your Neck or a Shook Ones or or a Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music, right? Or Get Up, Get Out. You know what I'm saying? Still DRE. You'll be playing those things forever. Summertime, Will Smith. So it's just being able to have timing, man. Even if you're a Soldier Boy, you know what I'm saying, and you got that time when he just comes out and it's like Soldier Boy, it goes crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it may not be your thing, but you can also see when guys are making records that cut through, have the divine timing, and then they're stuck in history, and that's it. He said, special ed, I got it made. You tell on your age, bro. Howie T, man. They produced all those records, Chub Rock. I Got It Made, all of that. DOS Effects, remember that, Jay? Yeah, New York in the chokehold, man. Like everybody had on, they was running around in their black Timbs and them damn face masks that winter. Listen, man, Lex Luger had an incredible run, man. That damn BMF. Hard in the paint. Comparing it to One Love, Lord Finesse type feel, Grand Poobah, Jay. Big Daddy Kane too, one of those guys. Bismarck, rest in peace to him. Showbiz AG, showing your age, man. Shout out DITC, man. I think what I had Death Squad. So listen, I want to talk about just before I get out of here, I just want to make sure that everybody that's in. I wanted to shout out everybody that's in the chat. Shout out everybody that's across Twitch, YouTube, Instagram right now. We got a bunch of folks all over. You know what I'm saying? Because we're streaming everywhere at the same time. Rumble, TikTok, everything. What I want folks that are jumping in on the music production side, it's going to take a hell of a lot of content. I got to make sure that people are aware of the amount of content that you're going to have to produce, you know what I'm saying, in order to make sure that you can, drive the amount of traffic that you're going to need to move your needle. And you're going to have to be able to use all of the tools that are available to us, right? So for those who are not using AI, for those who are not using like programs like Midjourney, who people who are not using, say, Leonardo, there's so many right now. It's Nano Banana. It's just so many. So you have to start becoming versed in that. I'm going to make sure that I have some of those things in the portal for people to kind of understand, what we're using. You got to get an editor. You're going to have to use CapCut to do CapCut or something like that, or video editor, so that you can have something that you can cut up stuff on your phone. And you're going to have to be able to really, juggle multiple platforms until you can figure out which platform is giving you the most response or the best response. He said, beg no friends. So I guess what I'm saying all of that to say, like, I want to make sure that we're giving people the education on top of the on what needs to be done. You know what I mean? It's a marathon. It is not a sprint. But what I can guarantee, that if heads stick with the program, if heads are present, if heads are active, that you will see progress. For sure your music will get better, and you definitely will start to understand this game. You know what I'm saying? And in some cases, sometimes people find different niches. You know what I'm saying? Because quiet is kept. I started off rapping, and once I started to do something different, I found a different lane. You know what I mean? And then, and then I'm also able to, help manage my friends in terms of, his acting career and help them with that and those type of stuff. So you start to learn things, and then you're able to, you're able to evolve. And I think that's the whole thing about the portal as well, that I want to make sure of, is that people will be able to evolve, not just professionally, but personally as well. You know what I mean? So, because I want to make sure that we have an environment of good people, man. Iron and sharpen iron, and people sharing resources. You know what I mean? Sharing ideas. And I think that needs to happen in terms of, a certain type of community where brothers could really share ideas, share resources, share, news, things that are happening, and making sure that we're staying on point and providing for our families, and making sure that we're keeping ourselves accountable for things. You know what I mean? So let's go. This one is called Summer Days. it's like it's being able to see things in real time. And um like I was telling y'all the other day, like, my homie Sean Anthony Baker be in the building a lot. But he currently has a viral movie right now, right? He has a movie that he filmed 2 years ago, with an emerging director. Shout out to Kevin Cade and Klingenvine Films. New guy on the scene. He liked Sean. He casted him in this short film. The film was no more than 5 minutes, and it immediately did maybe like 1 million views on X, right? Did really well on X. That director was able to take the success of that film, and then he was able to get his first studio gig, and he has a Christmas film that's going to drop at the end of the year. It's called it's escaping me. It's Unbearable Christmas. There it goes. So, and it stars Julia Stiles from the Jason Bourne series and a few other people. You know what I mean? So, you got to look out for that. So, that director decided to repost the film again on TikTok, and then it immediately did 3 million views. And then he wanted to put it on YouTube Shorts, and it did 5 million views, right? So it's like, so now the internet is asking for that to be turned into a feature film, and it's happening in real time. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that, these are the type of things that are happening in real time that I want to make sure that I'm sharing with the community and people who may be into film, people who might be into, movies and stuff like that. Because remember, it's all connected. The music is connected to the film. The music is connected to the television, the video games. It's connected to everything. And us now as content creators, because I like to call it I don't like to call it like a music producer thing. I like to call us all kind of content creators, because we're all part of this content engine now. We have to know we have to bring our music to life. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes the way that we can do that is through visuals. You know what I mean? So now that we can get AI avatars, we can do this, we can do that, we can do so many things that we would normally need, 3, 4 different type of people. And, you can do these things as a one-man band. You just need to kind of understand what programs to use, what things to do with it. You know what I mean? So I don't want the portal to become, I don't want it to become too cerebral, but it's hard for it not to be. You kind of have to wear different hats. You kind of have to understand, the things that you have to do to become successful. And if you don't understand those things, if you have the resources, you got to hire somebody to do it. That's what I suggest. You delegate it if you can. If it's not something you can get into, you delegate it. You know what I mean? But that's the whole thing. We at least we have that option. Before we didn't have affordable options to delegate, like graphic design and videos too, and lyric videos and stuff. Like, these things are all affordable now. So I just want to make sure that folks are on game. And we got to make it happen, you know what I mean? No matter what. It's funny that you talk about Benny Boom, man. Benny Boom is who gave my man his first shot. He gave my man his first shot in the All Eyes on Me movie. That's where Sean Anthony Baker got his first kind of start on there. And then when Benny Boom got hired by Irv Gotti to do the Tales, who he called? He called my man, Sean Anthony Baker. Rest in peace, Irv Gotti, man. Shout out Benny Boom too, man. Yep. Those guys are cut from a different cloth, man. about to get up out of here, y'all. Gotta put a little bit more work into this portal, man, so we'll be up for the rest of the night handling that. Yo, you just dropped a jewel, bro. You know, like sometimes it takes another person to show you what you're supposed to do, man. That joint is real, man. That's real. It's like, you know, you start off doing one thing, you start rocking with a bunch of people, and you're like, nah, I'm really good at this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just never know, man. But that's the whole point of, you know, expanding our social circles. We got to expand those things. Like those things, that's very important for us to have to expand our social circles and to ensure that, you know, we're growing, you know, not just professionally, but personally. You know, you got to grow, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't stand still, man. That has been the hallmark of this journey for us, is that I refuse for us not to grow. Like, you know, you get to a certain age and you say, well, I just do it this way. Nah, bro. Never. Never. They're using ChatGPT, I'm using it too. You're using Runway, I'm using that too. You're using what? What you using? You're using Midjourney, I'm using that too. Yeah, I'm not trying to hear that. Y'all using Bitcoin, I'm using that too. What we using? We using Uniswap to do what? We doing what? Okay, I'm doing that too. What we doing? You know what I'm saying? And it like, if you can learn it, we can learn it, right? And we have to take that attitude. Like, if you can learn it, we can learn it too, man. So, you know, we don't want to be in a situation where, you know, we get kind of complacent and say, hey, you know, well, that's not really my thing. Listen, it's never your thing until you start doing it. I think come tomorrow we're going to do some more chops. Nah, I appreciate y'all, man. Vito, I appreciate y'all. Thank you all for the super chats. Thank y'all for sharing the messages. You know what I'm saying? For pulling up. Everybody to be safe, man. In this crazy world, man, people gotta stay safe, man. Hug your kids, man. And we'll be on tomorrow. Hopefully a little bit earlier, though. Peace, y'all.